Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I am here today with week number 3 of the Christmas in July YouTube Hop hosted by Beck, who is Beck's Crafting World 2, and Leslie, who is Mermaid Cove Studio. This week's prompt was, I'm a little cheat sheet, 3D ornament, holiday decor, or advent calendar. Of course, I chose the advent calendar. Surprise! So I'm not gonna lie, I am so excited for this. When I came up with this concept, I was so proud of myself and giddy and teary-eyed, and I hurt my back trying to dance in celebration. I'm over 40, guys. I can't be doing that. So I am so excited to share this with you. First, I need to get some water. Okay. So it looks cute. I made a little poinsettia, put some bells in the middle, so it's a jingle bell. Merry Christmas. Paper collection I'm using is, oh no, Christmas Time Echo Park. Here is the spine. I know what you're thinking. Oh, this is her advent calendar book box that she does every year, just tweaks it a little bit. You're right. But ta-da! It's little stairs. How cute is that? But open it up. Opens. You know, I'm going to show you this way, but it's supposed to stand up like this, but obviously you can't see the front. You can use these sides for pictures, but watch. It is a waterfall of advent calendar boxes. Right? Look at how fun that absolutely is. While we're right here, in the tutorial, I tell you to make sure all of your boxes are facing towards the back. Like you can see all the finger pulls. Caveat. This one, I didn't think that through. You need to have your finger pull on the top because you're gluing it down. So you can still open it. It's just a little awkward to close it. You got to kind of tuck it in. Not a huge deal, but it would have been much easier if the flap was, the finger pull was on top. So just keep that in mind when you're building your box. Oh, I smashed that one in there. How fun is that? You have room right here to write a message, or put some, put paper down there, more pretty paper, write a message. I'm probably going to write a message. But yes, these are 3x3 boxes. So I did all of my loves in one book. So, I love a tier tray. So you can add whatever you want on your tier tray. You can permanently put them down or just, set them nicely. And then waterfall folio and boxes. Look at that. How fun is that? Yes, your person can open it standing up. It's obviously hard to see that. And then you just kind of just roll it back. So it's like that. How fun is that? It is super easy to make. I'm in love with this. These boxes do fit the bunny shaped Kit Kats, so it will fit the Santa shaped Kit Kats. You can get 2 of those in each box. Maybe more if you put them on top of each other. But this is such a nice size box that you can put any type of coworker treat, for your kids, grandkids, crafty friend, whatever you want. You just tie it closed, or you can use the thousands of closures we know how to make. I just found this ribbon at Dollar Tree, and I felt that it matched the top here, the paper that I used. But here's the tutorial. And like I said, with the tutorial, I made up this part as we went along. So there are a few tips in there that obviously I didn't know because I was making it in real time. But anyway, here's the tutorial. Okay, So first step is we need to figure out the size of the boxes we need. In this case, I want my boxes to be 3 by 3 by 1 inch. And so we're going to plug our numbers in. Again, we're using the pink fold flat box template. This is the old cover, the new cover is darker pink, and it says fold flat box. Inside is the same. So we know this is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, half an inch, because that's just the measurement I like. Left to right is 3, up and down is 3. You can make your arrows if you want. Let's go ahead and get some different pen colors. One, 4, 5, 8, 9 by, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 9 by 6. On the long side, we need to go 1, 4, 5, and 8. On the short side, half an inch and 1 on both sides. We'll get that measurement when we get there. Okay, so paper. I'm going to use my, no, I'm going to use, I was going to use my 12 by 12 because that would give you, you could get 2 boxes out of your 12 by 12, but I'm running low, so I'm going to go ahead and use this sturdy 8.5 by 11 from Hobby Lobby. So I'm cutting 2 at a time. So 9. By 6, and you're going to save your scrap. You're going to use your scraps in a minute. So 9 by 6. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut all of my boxes. We're going to do 5 boxes because this is kind of what I'm thinking is like kind of a coworker, you know, just 5 little treats. You can obviously add more, you can add less. If you're an evens person, do 4 or 6. Alright, so 4. I'm an odd person, so I'm doing 5. Yes, it's using up a lot of paper, but you know what? It makes me happy, right? Okay, so let me get some of this stuff off my desk. Alright. I just have stuff everywhere. Right, so let's go ahead and score all of our boxes. So on the long side, we're scoring at 1 inch. I would have done this in the red, but it's too thin. 4, 5. If I had my Stampin' Up! Paper, I would definitely use a different color paper, but I don't. And 8. Short side, half an inch, and 1.5. Come on. On both sides. Half an inch. Yeah, I accidentally glued paper to my my trimmer. Half an inch and 1.5. Okay, so you're going to do that for all of your boxes. This process is the same. So if you want to go through and score all of your boxes, go for it. Your next step, this is going to be starting position, long side at the top, and you're going to cut off all 4 boxes on the right hand side. So 2 rectangles, well, I guess technically 3 rectangles in a square, and you're going to do the same thing to the top. You're cutting off the 4 sections. Okay. I'm only going to show you 1 box on here because you guys get the gist. Okay, and we are going to miter and miter, like your little, and I'm just going to cut off just a little bit. So now you have like this little weird shape. Now you're going to come to this line, you're going to cut up the score line, cut off half, miter and miter, okay, score line, cut up, half, miter and miter. What you do to the bottom, you need to do to the top, so we're just going to rotate her on around, and score line, half, miter, miter, score line, half, miter, miter. Okay, clean up. And I did not varnish, so now you have to do it now. I have no idea what I did with my, oh, that's the piece of glue that was on my paper trimmer. Okay. Varnish, varnish, varnish. Get the edges nice and crisp. The key to a successful box is a nice crisp edges. This paper is a little thicker to work with for boxes, but that's okay. This is I think 90 pound. I don't like making boxes with a 110 pound weight because it's just, there's no forgiveness, but your box looks so good, but you have to go so slow and like really take your time. Round your corners. Yep, this little guy might be my new favorite corner rounder. I did purchase the Stampin' Up! One of you guys follow my journey. My journey to a new... Oh no, what did I do there? Oh gosh. My journey to a new thing. I just said you were my favorite and look what you did. Oof. Good thing I need to glue one side down because I would have been mad at that. That's unfortunate. He was just my favorite. Now he's not my favorite. Now I'm all thrown off. Like I don't even know how to make a box right now. Yeah, okay. Alright. Well, there went that. Alright, so I folded in glue. Coming over, lining up. Okay, letting that glue dry. I'm really annoyed by that. I don't know what I did. Okay. One side we're going to seal shut. So the side that had the weird mishap, as I was just singing its praises, that's getting glued shut. Only glue shut one. Oh, and I can't even... Okay, well. Right. I'm completely thrown off. Like, I probably can't do this tutorial because now my brain's on overload. Okay. So anyway, you're going to go ahead and just glue the one side shut, let it dry, move on to your other boxes. Okay, so I got all my boxes, one side glued, one side open, ready to go, and we need 4 pieces that are, I'm just going to write it down here so I know. 4 pieces that are 1.5 by 3, and on the short side we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1. Okay. Let me move my boxes out the way. I say, 1.5 by 3. So we need 1, 2, oh, 3, 4. Okay, that's all we needed, right? We just needed 4 pieces, and we need to score these at my score blade fell on the floor. I gotta find it. But 1/2 inch and 1 is your measurement while I find my score blade. Okay. And it doesn't help that my carpet is the same color as the scoring blade. So it's hard to find. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and score all of our pieces 1/2 inch and 1. And then we are going to glue these and then work on our folder, or the outside, the booklet part. Okay. And to be honest, the next part I'll be making up as I go along. Alright, so the first one's going to be mountain, the second one is valley. So like this. So mountain, valley. So fold down, fold up. Mountain, valley. Okay. So now you're going to take your boxes, and I'm going to keep mine open because if not, then I will glue it on the absolute wrong side. I want mine to open like this so the flap 1/2 inch is towards the back. And what you're going to do is put glue or tape on your 1/2 inch side. And you are going to glue that right to the top. Yes, we could have figured out, I could have added inches to this flap and figured all that out, but it was too much work when this hinge was so, it was easy. And we'll just cover that, or it's not really a big deal. Okay. So then we're going to take our next box and we're going to glue that right there, making sure our flaps are opening to the same place. You do not want to put glue in the middle section, just the top and the bottom section. The middle does not get any glue whatsoever, or you will not be able to flip. Okay, so line your boxes up with your flap, and we are good to go with that one. Okay, take your next hinge, and we are just repeating it. We're going to glue that there like that, and just keep it moving. Very, very simple. I don't try to do anything complicated. I let the engineers like Rosa Kelly and Kathy Orta, I let them do complicated. I do the easy. I love following their tutorials. They're so complicated sometimes, but not hard. You know, there's a difference between hard and complicated, right? They're never hard, but sometimes you really do have to pay attention. Like, you have to stop and rewind. I don't try to come up with anything that I feel like you guys would have to stop and rewind, because I'm a lazy crafter. That's the real reason. Alright, so I just put the glue on there, added my next box, letting that dry. I absolutely love this. Okay. And then again, you're just doing the same thing, making sure your mountain fold face this way and your valley's this way. And get that on there. then next, just getting your chipboard and making it into a little folio booklet thing. Okay. And last one. Okay, so we only need it. No, it's not last one. I forgot. I had 5. And then when you decorate, you can just put a strip of paper right on top. I absolutely love this. Did I say that already? 30 times? Okay, and then this last one, add it on. No, they don't meet. I don't know why. They should, because the box is 1 inch, and then a 1/2 inch plus 1/2 inch is 1, right? None of mine met in the middle. I don't know. They're like 1/8 of an inch apart. That one's a lot. Look, we don't ask questions, okay? We just put the glue on paper. Alright, last one. So maybe 5 was just a bit too many, but that's okay. Excuse me. Alright, so, oh, you know what? I know why some of them didn't meet, is because I didn't line it up on the edge. I had it further away. Just make sure your middle section is flat up against that box when you're putting your hinge on. So now you have something that looks like this. Super cute. Okay, so let me get my chipboard and get ready for the next step. Okay, so you need 2 pieces of chipboard. That's going to be 5.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to pull out my cutting blade, put my chip blade in. So my chipboard blade is just the previous cutting blade that went dull for paper, but it works perfectly for chipboard. Alright, so 5.5 by 5.5. Okay, so that's 5.5 by 5.5. And by 5.5. If you have to change the measurement, please use your measurements in the description box, because those are going to be accurate. Sometimes I say the wrong measurement or I change them. So that's going to be too small. I was trying to use scrap pieces here. Let's see. Yep, that's perfect. And then our next piece is going to be 3.25 by 5.5. Let me find another piece. There we go. All right. Bye. So now you're going to wrap your chipboard, whatever method you prefer to wrap your chipboard. I'm going to do 3.25. And 3.25. Perfect. Okay. So the good thing is that it's a square, so you don't have to worry about which side is which. But you're going to lay yours out, and you're going to give it, mine is going to have 2 millimeters, which is a little bit more than 1/8, but less than 1/4. And that's how you're going to wrap your book, okay? Some people are going to use Tyvek, some people are going to use cardstock, tape. I think I'm going to use, I'm going to put a little piece of Tyvek back there, and then I'm using tape. I'm happy to be using the P3 tape. You can use duct tape, painter's, whatever tape you have. Now that I say that, I don't know where my tie back is, do I? Okay, let me find that. Or you could do the old school wrap if you want with the cardstock. I'm cutting my piece of tie back at 5.5 by 5.5. Whatever measurements you want, that's what you're going to use for that. And I'm going to tape the back of my, actually I'm going to tape my Tyvek piece. I'm going to tape it all up. All right, so I used one of my score tape sheets. This is probably entirely too much tape, but for the convenience, I'm using it. And I mismeasured, but that's okay. I will just add another little piece of tape to that little corner. See how easy and quick that was? I love score tape sheets. They're just a little bit expensive when you're doing a lot of these, but I've had these sheets for a long time and I've never used them, so now I'm using them. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take my spine piece and I'm putting that in the middle as best as I can. There we go. Making sure there's no overhang on my tie back here. It's just a little tiny bit right there. Alright, now I'm going to take my tools. They're still new, so I'm still using them. You know, we get these tools and we love them, and then we just don't use them after a while. Again, it's a square, so we don't have to worry about, you know, which piece is what. Oops, what am I doing here? Yeah, okay, there was that. Alright, so get that on there straight. And your other piece on straight. This is why we stop using the tools, because it takes, you know, that extra 10 seconds or so to get it exactly where you want it, especially if you have the tape down. And then, you know, 10 seconds, oh, that's way too much time in Crafter's World. And get that in there straight. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and, because my paper is black and my chipboard is tan, I am going to use my P3 tape, and I'm going to cover my edges with a P3 tape. You know, you can do what you want, whatever method you want. I don't do mine like Kathy does hers. I do mine differently. So just do, you know, whatever you want, however you want to wrap your spine. I wanted to add the tie back just because I know this book will be opened and closed a million times. So, you know, that's why I did mine. But anyway, I'm going to get this all wrapped up. Okay, I'm going to show you this little trick. You can do this with tape or cardstock. Obviously, it's easier with tape because it's sticky. I cut too much off when I was mitering, because I was trying to answer my phone at the same time. And so I don't have enough wrap to cover the gap. So you just add a little piece right there. Take off another little corner from your scraps. And you're going to add another little piece right on in here. And nobody will know. Let me add that nicely. Yes, I've done this a million times, cardstock and or tape. Because sometimes I just go crazy and just cut ridiculous. And today was a ridiculous day. So I wanted to make sure that my corners were covered. That's all you have to do. Once you put your paper on top, nobody will see that oopsie. Oh, you couldn't even see what I was doing. Hold on, let me see if I can show you what I was doing. I put this extra little piece from the scrap mitering. I put that right there. And then I just toppled over it. Like that. Same thing over here. This one was really bad. Let me see if I can peel that up. Okay, so this is what I did. So when I came here, I knew that this wrap was not going to cover that because, like I said, I just cut it too close. So I just took a little piece right here, the mitering triangle that I overcut. Just line it up. And wrap it down. And again, I've done this with cardstock. It does work. And when you put your paper over it, no one will see all that extra business. All they'll see is clean corners. Okay? So yeah, don't fret if you overcut or miss tape or miss I just got to pull this little piece right here tighter. You undercut, overcut, I don't know what the term is, but you mess up. You're good to go. That's all you gotta do. And then you just make that the back. If you still don't like it, make it the back bottom and you're good to go. All right. All right. So our puzzle will be in here like so. Now, the only thing is that you can, underneath you have this wide thing, so I will, it's fine. You could put a little hidden note right here, maybe some white paper or to from, or the year or something like that. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But it looks like a little staircase, and I thought it was so cute. You can totally decorate, little cabochons on top of there because it's still going to flip up just fine. So yeah. All right, let me matte, because I definitely want to matte first, and then I will show you how to put it together. Okay, so I simple matted the inside because this is not going to be your showcase feature, right? So the spine, I just used the thinner matting paper, and then I used, a piece from the collection. I went ahead and cut 4 because I think I'm going to use this on the cover, but I think I am going to double matte the cover. But right now, I don't need to worry about that. I wonder why that popped up. Anyway, definitely measure your panels because mine were like, what's that measurement? 5 and 5, 8, 1, 3, 5. Yeah, so mine ended up being 5 and 5/8 instead of 5 1/2, and so I cut this paper 5 1/2 by 5 3/8. Okay, so measure your panels before you cut your designer paper, because yes, I know we cut these squares at 5 1/2 by 5 1/2, but when you get that little extra, it could add 1/8 of an inch to where you want to mat. So just measure it. And then you can decide if you want to mat your boxes first or put them in. It's not going to matter because it's an accordion. But I am going to go ahead and mat mine. But I turned the camera back on because I wanted to show you how easy it is to go ahead and add that finger pull. Where's that other little one? The paper's going to give a little bit. So now you can just do that. So you have that finger pull. Make it a little easier for your person to open it. Actually, I think I'm going to use this bigger circle. It's not going to really matter which size circle you want. You can still get it up in there. There we go. And just kind of make your finger pull. It'll be easier for your person to take it out. Okay, so I'm going to mat my boxes, and then we'll put it together. Okay, so put your pattern paper down first if you're going to mat both sides of your boxes. I didn't think that through until I was already done putting on my finger pulls. Now I'm going to have to guess, but it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. But it would have been easier to, actually it would have been easier to go ahead and mat your boxes while they were still flat. So I'll mention that in the beginning of the video, because at this point now it's just going to be more work. Nothing hard, just extra step. Here's another tip when you're matting the underneath of your box. Lift it up because you need to go this way. Yes, I put it on upside down before, but that's okay. I noticed it before the glue set. So make sure you're lifting your boxes up and paying attention to your direction. Okay, so the one thing I did not pay attention to, you don't have to mat this back because it's getting glued down, but that's okay. So this is how I placed mine, okay? Because it doesn't need to go all the way to the top, but you also want it to come, you know, you don't want it to pop off the bottom like that, right? So it's about, I don't know what the measurement is. So it's just that, okay? Like maybe 1/8 of an inch from the top. I'm just going to kind of have shadows here. See if I can get rid of the shadow. I know you can see my light in the camera, but I need light. I can't see. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna kind of center it. And yeah, it's about 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna mark it with a pencil. It's kind of where I want it, okay? And then when you're gluing, you have to pay attention to your finger pull here. So when you're gluing it, you know, glue an 1/8 of an inch away from your finger pull. So like for mine, I'm going to glue only on the green paper. For you, you're not going to waste that paper and glue on that, right? Or not mat it. Okay. So I'm just making sure I get every other edge. I just don't want to be anywhere near that finger pull because obviously we got to let the flap come in and out, right? Alright, so I have my mark, and I'm going to line it up. And then I don't know why I took my light away, because I knew I was going to need it. Making sure it's lined up where I need it to be lined up. While that glue is still tacky, making sure I put it in the right place, which I did. Nothing's coming off the bottom. Okay, so yeah, that is perfect. So now I'm just going to let that dry. I did go ahead and mat the sides. I matted the little hinges. I matted them on the inside as well. I will show you as soon as this dries. And we still have this really nice place right here for a message. So you may want to take your 2-inch, oh, that's perfect. I think that's 2 inches. Yep. A 2-inch piece of paper and have you a nice little note. Merry Christmas. Love, Tiffany McGill. Crafting like a boss. You know, whatever you want to do. Thanks for being a great coworker. Surprise, it's Tiffany McGill. You know, especially for Secret Santa, that'd be a great place to put that note. You know, you can make a little booklet or whatever you want, but that is the perfect place for that. Or you can just go ahead and take your extra piece, you know, like the piece I matted on the back, and just add that down here as another little visual. You can put a horizontal 2x3 picture. I mean, the options are endless for that. I did not mat the bottoms here, the finger pulls, Now that I'm looking at it, I kind of want to, but nah, I'm good. Okay. So you still have your stair climb here. You can, again, you can add your little gingerbread guys. I thought I had some over here. Whatever you would want to add on the little top of these stairs, absolutely add to the stairs, because it's not going to really hinder as long as you stay to the 1 inch part. Do not add anything on the 1/2 inch part, because that is how your box is going to rotate. Let me move this out the way, but that extra light is awesome. How you're going to rotate. Eek, I'm so excited for this. Look at this. Again, it's a waterfall advent calendar box. She cute. So you can add, like, here you go, pretend like that's a little snowman. This is our gingerbread guy. You know, you can add on the steps, which is super fun. Okay, guys, please, please, please tag me in this. I want to see what you come up with. And as always, thanks for watching. Hop on down to the next person, because I almost forgot this was a hop. But hop on down to the next person. Like if you like what I've made, like them if you like what they made, subscribe. You know, we do this for you, for us, for our sanity. Most of us, it's free. Please give us a like and subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.